Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 127. Lamar, we have a special guest with us.
We have Balraj Kang, and you are promoting, we're going to be asking you other things, but you're promoting your new film with one of our favorites, Troma, Mother Mortis, man. So how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I think like you guys in America, like have got such a good like horror sort of like community going on, you know? So it's great to be like getting involved in that.
First off, how did you get into film, like specifically horror movies?
Yeah, so it's like I've always been into those genre of films, like 80s, 90s, sort of practical effects films, and that's what I grew up on. So watching like films like Total Recall, Terminator 2, which aren't specifically horror, but it was like a lot of SFX. And then I got involved in films just because like I always wanted to make a film, and I thought just try to do it. Like I've never had any practical like learning or done a degree in it. I guess I just had like a moment where I was like, I'm just going to try it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if it works, then like, great, you know? So that's how I think I got into it. Yeah.
The fact that you're an independent filmmaker and you're self-taught, what are some tips then, like for people that are wanting to make a film for pulling off the practical effects?
Watch films and like look at the way they like frame stuff. Look at the way, look at what you've got around you. I guess I'd be like, be realistic, look at like films and learn from that and build a good team. Like, because I can't do anything without my team, so it's like things don't go to plan, like you'll make like a bladder, or you'll make something that you got rigged up, like an arm going to be cut off, and it will never go to plan on the day. So it's like, it's adapting and having people around you, like SFX artists and the DOP that can work things out with you. Like, I'm not usually the problem solver, it's them that problem solve. Like, but I have my input where I'm like, okay, like maybe two people got conflicting ideas. I'll be like, let's do that one. I'm like the final say, even though maybe my final say might not always be right. But yeah, I think practical effects is find a good crew, keep it realistic, and watch practical effects films.
Talking about practical effects then, if you had to choose a moment in a movie, what is your favorite practical effect?
The Thing by John Carpenter. So I'd say, I'd say the dog scene, the dog kennel scene, like stuck with me from like childhood. That's probably my number one, where I was like, wow, that's awesome. And that film's got loads of great moments. My second one would be Hellraiser 2, Hellbound, where Dr. Channard's birth would probably be one of my favorites as well. Like, they're my two.
So let's talk about your first film with Troma was Book of Elf.
Yeah.
We watched that the other day. You've made some interesting observations with that film. Can you talk about your inspiration for that one?
Oh, yeah. So basically we made that for Sick and Wrong Film Festival as like a 72-hour competition. So we made that entire film in 72 hours, from writing the script to actually filming it, to editing it, to doing the music. And we couldn't cheat because we didn't know what our topic was until the clock started running. 72. It was really fun, and then that film, we filmed it at my friend's house. We made a set. My girlfriend, she built the set like literally in like less than an hour.
Nice.
Like dressing it all up and everything. We had fake snow. And we wanted to make something, because we made that in November time, we wanted to make something sort of seasonal, and I wanted to show like elves like rebelling Santa, and show it a bit sort of perverted because it was Sick and Wrong. So it was interesting.
Very cool. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes. Now we got to talk about it. What brought you to Troma? How has your experience been there? Because we have experienced nothing but love. It's like a strong community. How did you get involved, and how is it going with Troma and everything like that?
So obviously, I've known Troma since like childhood, like Toxic Avenger, and I've known like obviously like all the Toxic films and like Romeo and Juliet and all them sort of films, and they're so nice. Like, they're so open. It's probably the only place for me, in my opinion, in the world that's so open to indie filmmakers and gives us a chance and a voice. And everybody that I deal with in Troma is super nice, and they're like normal human beings. They make their own films as well, and I got nothing but love and respect for them. Like, and obviously it gives me a great platform as well to like spread the love over here in the UK for Troma, and also like open up the audience for people that are Troma fans to like watch my films and, you know, hopefully enjoy them. Yeah, them guys are great. Like, yeah, they're great.
Well, speaking of Troma, we've heard that you are working on a project with Claire Bacon, aka Slutty the Clown, our friend. Can you tell us about that project at all, or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's actually the one that we're going to be filming in the 5th of June. So we've got about less than a month, and I won't give too much away about her role and stuff, but she's one of the good guys. And the film is called Diwali Maniac Bloodbath. In my eyes, it's a British Asian slasher film. It's going to be super gory. So we've got about 20 kills in one day that we're going to film. But yeah, Claire's great. You know, she's one of the, like, you know, Troma brethren, in that she's got the film on there, and she's local to me. You know, she's not that far actually. She's probably about an hour and a half. And she's obviously like an independent filmmaker. So I've got nothing but love for people who just go out and do it. You got to understand, like in the UK, it's like there's a big difference. If you're down south in London, you'll get all the British Film Institute money, funding, blah, blah, blah. You know, you get more Indiegogo money.
Right.
If you're up north or in the Midlands, where I am, and Claire's up north and I'm in the Midlands, there isn't that. Like, we have to make our own. We have to put our own money in our own films, basically. You know, like, it's more difficult. So like people end up forming tighter crews and like tighter groups. I got a lot of love for like our guys up here, like representing, because we don't have a voice. You know, like,
right. You got your own thing.
Yeah. Now we got to ask the question: favorite Troma film?
I'd probably say for me it would be Citizen Toxie. I know it's like the 4th Toxic Avenger film, but I just found that my favorite. I really like the original Toxic Avenger. That's one of my favorite films. Also Cannibal the Musical with the South Park guys. Those are probably my top 3. Poultrygeist as well. Fucking love Poultrygeist.
Yeah,
we like that one.
I think Poultrygeist is definitely in my top 3. And I really want to watch Shakespeare's Shitstorm, but at the moment here, it's hard to get hold of it. So,
really,
you know, Troma Now, sign up to Troma Now. It's only $4, $4.99, and you can cancel any time. So, you know, I have got a long list of Troma films to watch still, like Slashing, Final Beginning.
Very good.
Amazing.
Yes.
Very
good.
Definitely want to watch that.
Well, speaking of watch Troma Now, people are going to be able to watch Mother Mortis soon on Troma Now. Could talk about Mother Mortis and what's going on there.
Yeah, so we started filming Mother Mortis last year, March, sort of in the middle of pandemic. Everyone's depressed. And I said to my guys, let's just make a film. Like, I literally started it as a short, and it was Mother Mortis Awakening, and sent that to a few film festivals, and thought, oh, like, we can run with this idea. Like, it's got potential, you know? And then, then I sent the short to Troma. You know, I said to Troma, you know, have a look at it, and they really liked it. So, you know, they were like, send us the feature when it's ready. So, you know, the film itself is basically about a serial killer. It's a slasher, but it's more sort of splatter style sort of slasher. You know, and it's really like batshit crazy.
Sounds like it's going to be right up our alley for sure. When is it going to come out?
So it's planning to come out on the 25th of May. Okay. I'm going to have it out on Troma Now,
right?
On DVD, by this like 3 different distributors, 2 in the US, 1 in the UK, and then it'll also be on Amazon Prime as well, just for people that don't have any of the others or don't buy DVDs still.
What is your dream project? Because, you know, of course, being an indie filmmaker, that's, of course, like, people make that work. But if you had the budget, everything that you needed, what would you do? What type of film would you do?
I don't, but I think if I could, I'd absolutely love to do a sequel to The Thing, like, you know, showing the comic book element which they wrote, where basically the Thing ends up basically going to like society and civilization. You know, I'd love to do that. But say if I couldn't do that, I would love to do a film for maybe Hammer Horror here in the UK.
That'd be
like,
cool.
But yeah, if I had a big budget, you know, I think I could do something. But I don't try to hold my breath, because otherwise it will never happen. You know, like it's just do it.
Yeah, well, we're doing a good job. So before we let you go, tell everyone where they can get a hold of you on your social media and all that.
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's at Apotheosis Productions. That's got my Linktree account to it, where you've got my YouTube and you can watch short films and stuff. And also, it's got my Big Cartel store, where you can buy copies of Mortis. So my Big Cartel is the same, Apotheosis Productions.
Right on. Yeah, and of course, watch Troma now to see Book of Elf and Mother Mortis as well.
Coming out soon. Awesome. Yes. Yeah,
right on,
definitely as well. And Perfect Turd. Don't forget to follow Perfect Turd podcast. You know.
We are humbled by people's suggestions. We've learned that, you know, with indie, with either if it's Troma, Full Moon, or whatever, B movies, it's more so it's a community. We got to help each other. So thank you, of course, for that shout out. We'll definitely shout out your stuff too, man, because you're doing it by yourself. So yeah, absolutely. So
awesome. Cool. Thanks for joining us, man.
No, thanks for having me, man. Thank you.
Peace out.
Bye.
Deuces.